There's a couple different ways to do covert comms, and some are more objectively comfortable and functional than others. In my opinion, this setup right here that we've got is the most functional and comfortable out of all the setups you could possibly get, and it's really not that complicated. There's a couple setups we'll go over right here, different ways you can do it, but the main basis of covert comms is I want to be able to carry a radio on me and carry a way to talk and listen on me without being very obvious or very overt. We want to be discreet in the way we can talk and communicate, which means we need a headset or a way to listen that is discreet. We need a place to put our radio and a radio setup that can be hidden well. We need a PTT activation button that is either built into the headset or easy to conceal. There's a lot of different factors we have to care about there, but I think that this setup hits all of those really, really well, and it's comfortable and it's affordable. So let's go through what we have right here. There's a couple different parts we're going to discuss, but before that, let's talk about the current options you have if you don't get a kit like this for discrete radio carry. Every Baofeng comes with an earpiece, and this is the earpiece right here. It sucks. The cool thing about this earpiece is it is simple. It has a K1 plug right here, so it plugs directly into your radio. It has a push to talk on it, it has a mic, and it has an earpiece. The problem is that this earpiece, and if you've ever used one of these, you know, it is horribly uncomfortable. It's all plastic around there. The way it secures to your ear is not good. This earpiece doesn't feel good at all. In terms of earpiece design in general, it is complete garbage, and I do not recommend that anyone uses the earpiece that comes with the Baofeng radio. You should upgrade, especially if you're going to be wearing this for more than 5 minutes. And so then we go into a couple different options. One of the main options that you've probably seen floating around, and we do carry them at defense distributors, is acoustic tube earpieces. There are 2 options of these we currently carry. Actually, there might be 3. This is one of them right here. And all this acoustic tube is it's a clear tube that connects to your ear, and there's a little speaker mic in this black thing here, and this plays sound, which goes through the tube and into your ear. This is a really budget solution. It's pretty low vis, but it's not perfect, and it's not as comfortable as other options, which I'm about to show you. My favorite option is this right here, and this is essentially, and I'll explain the parts here in a second, the comms builder. It's a UV5R radio, which goes to a BTEC 3.5mm PTT, which goes to my favorite earbuds. And you might recognize these. They're very generic Apple earbuds. And you can use any 3.5mm earbuds with this setup. So whatever earbud fits your ears the best and is the most comfortable, you can use with this setup, which is super awesome, assuming they have a mic on them, which makes it even better because now we don't have to run a mic in any weird location. It's built into the earbud. So first off, the radio itself. One of the core tenets of covert communications is you need to be able to hide the radio on your person. So extended whip antennas or anything like that is really just not going to work for your setup. Hold on, I gotta get this plug out. So the radio we've chosen for this demo specifically is a UV5R because it's the most basic radio we sell, and we also have the most support for it. That's not to say you can't use other radios. Like right here I have a BTEC UV Pro in a similar configuration, a little bit larger, but you're getting a better radio for that. The main parts about what makes this a covert setup is that the radio in general is small. We aren't using any extended batteries. We're using the standard battery. This one's the USB-C upgrade, but we're using a standard radio configuration that is small. We are using ways to prevent buttons from being accidentally pushed. For example, I have a PTT guard on this one, which is going to prevent that push to talk from being pushed. I have a volume knob ring, which is going to prevent that from accidentally being pushed. And I have the case, which is going to prevent those buttons from being mashed. When you have a radio like this in your pocket, it's really easy to press those buttons, mess up all those settings, especially the volume knob. And the PTT, you really don't want to be holding that down in your pocket. That's a no-go. And the third thing we have on this that makes it a covert setup is the antenna. We're not using the stock antenna. We're not using an extended antenna. We're using the covert flexible antenna. We have a couple different covert antenna options, but this is one that I think fits the setup really well. So let's go through the comms builder. Let's add these parts. We're going to start with the radio, which is the Baofeng UV5R. Again, you can add in other radios here if you want. We're just going to select that one. We're going to go down here into the antennas. We're going to choose the covert flexible antenna. You could also opt for the micro antenna up here. That is an option. I like the flexible one better, but you could go with one of those as well. Let's keep going down here. Batteries. The UV5R already comes with a battery, so you don't need to select anything here. I'm going to select the rechargeable USB-C battery in standard configuration because I want to have that easier function. Now I don't have to carry a base charger with me in the field. I can charge it with just a USB-C, which is probably something I already have on me. So for covert, discrete purposes, USB-C is a nice ability. Let's keep going on here. We're going to skip this. We're going to go to accessories. We're going to add in a PTT guard. Essential to make sure your PTT is not being accidentally pressed. We're going to add in a small case, which will fit this radio perfectly. We're going to add in the volume knob ring. I think all 3 of those are absolutely essential accessories for a Covert radio you plan on putting in your pocket. All right, let's move on now, and we're going to go to the headset and mic section, which is what we haven't covered now, and this is where we are going to find the PTT cord. Right here, there are a couple different options that will accomplish Covert comms. There are Covert earpieces, so if you just want to go the acoustic tube route, that's fine. I don't like it as much as the solution, but to each their own. We have a Retevis, you could select that. There's a Covert mic with a Covert earpiece. There's a Covert tubeless earpieces. All those will get the job done really well. The reason I like specifically the BTEC 2-pin 3.5mm, which we are going to check right there, add to the comms builder. The reason I like this so much is because it allows me to use earbuds that I already like using, and it really isn't that noticeable. I see a lot of people who walk around with earbuds anyways, and depending on your context, this can be a very convincing sort of way to hide your communication setup and thinking that, oh, you're just on a call or you just have earbuds in. A tubeless earpiece is something that is only used in security comms, and so someone is going to know if they do spot this that you are a security element, whereas the earbuds have plausible deniability. These are earbuds I really like. They come with a mic right here built into them, and the BTEC 3.5mm PTT does not have a mic. That is something to note. If your earbuds do not have a mic on them, you will need to switch to different earbuds that have a mic, or if your earbuds don't have a mic on them, you can select the Covert 3.5mm mic, which does have a mic built into it. That's the alternative option. But the other reason I really like the BTEC so much is because it has a separate cord for the PTT actuation button. I don't need to go to here where I would normally put that mic cord, which is what a lot of these mic setups do to actuate that PTT button. I would much rather have it somewhere in my palm, or on my waist, or in my jacket pocket, somewhere like that. And by having a separate PTT actuation button cord, I can run this, and there's plenty of cord. I can run it wherever I want, and it has a little wrist strap on there or a loop to put on somewhere. It's probably a little too small for most people's wrists, but it is a strap nevertheless, and we can connect it to something. So we're gonna take our radio, we're gonna pop open the accessory port on the side. This uses a K1 UV5R plug. It'll work on the UV5R out of the box. You will need an adapter for something like the UV Pro. That is something to note. Now we have our PTT button right here. We take the 3.5mm, we plug it in. And just like that now, we have an incredibly capable Covert comm setup. We didn't have to break the bank. We didn't have to buy any expensive earpieces or anything. We're using the earbuds that I already use, and these are cheap, and you can get plenty of other options for cheap. We don't currently sell the earbuds, but we sell everything else here in this setup to make this kit work. I've walked you through the comms builder. You can go to defensedistributors.com, the link in the description, and open up the comms builder and follow along and select all those different things I have. And to recap, we can go to the kit summary, and I have selected the UV5R, Covert flexible antenna, USB-C rechargeable battery in the standard configuration, not the extended, the Baofeng PTT guard for the UV5R, the Baofeng UV5R case in the small variation, the Baofeng volume knob ring, and the BTEC 2-pin to 3.5mm adapter. That's all you need. Again, link is in the description.